Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to talk about using Tesla superchargers on a BMW i3 with their new Magic Docks. I thought it would be an interesting experiment to see what happens. If you look at the locations of the Super Magic Dock locations, there's only two in California, and one of them is in Scotts Valley. It's close to the Bay Area. And from the Tesla headquarters down to uh, Scotts Valley, it's not too far of a drive, so I thought I'd go ahead and try that. So this is what the Supercharger location looks like in Scotts Valley. It's in a shopping center area. Okay, so the first problem I ran into here is that if I pull into a stall, there's no way that that cable is going to reach that side. So I'm going to pull around to the other side and see if that works. Pull into the back side, but again, the cable is not going to be long enough, so I'll have to try something else. It looks like this would work actually, and it's not the end of the charging stall, so I'm not blocking two stalls to be able to charge, but the short cable is a real problem with regards to being able to charge a non-Tesla on a supercharger. So to prepare for charging the car on the Tesla supercharger, you need to download the Tesla app to be able to activate and turn off the charger itself. So what you need to do is download the app, and then there's the charger non-Tesla. It's one of the options that you click on at the top of the open menu screen, and then that gives you a map of where all the non-Tesla superchargers are located. Then you would select the site at the bottom of that. Once you do that, of course you would have all of your payment information online as well. You'd have to enter. Then you would pick the post number and then click to release the dock. Okay, I was able to use the app and unlock the cable with the Magic Dock and get it plugged in, and the charging session, as you can see, is flashing blue and is working. Charging on the Magic Dock, so we're getting some power. Set it charged immediately, so it looks like we're doing good so far. So it turned out to be a fairly nice day to do this experiment, and it was a fairly nice drive going over the hill to Scotts Valley from the Bay Area. I did want to mention that even though I was having trouble finding a location to park, that I had several Tesla drivers that came out to give some advice as to how to charge the car and where to charge it. One suggestion was to use the handicap zone so I could park a little bit skewed over to the side and be able to have access, which was a pretty good idea. So I was only down to about 66% charge, so I got 21 kilowatts when I first plugged it in, and that pretty rapidly dropped down to around 11 to 6 to 4 to I think 2 before I decided to unplug it at around 90 so percent charged. Okay, so I pushed stop charging on the app. Now we're going to take this thing out. So I push the button and hopefully it will release. So just a heads up, I had to use my little push stick to push in the locking mechanism, otherwise I couldn't release the Magic Dock. So that's probably a problem on my side with the car, but just a heads up on that. Okay, so it didn't release. I had to push in the little lock mechanism. Now we're okay. Got it out. And go ahead and put it back in the stall. And I think we're in. Well, I'd like to say there was a happy ending to this, but it turns out that somewhere in the handshake of disconnecting the cable, I ended up getting a drivetrain malfunction. At least it was not fatal, so I could continue to drive the car. I checked with Bimmerlink and with my OBD dongle and looked at the error codes, and it didn't really see much that was the problem other than possible fast charger management issue. I have cleared all of the errors that were in the system, and there wasn't a permanent error as well. So we have to figure out exactly what the error code is. So I'll leave the car to sit overnight and see if it will clear on its own. If not, I'm going to have to go visit the shop and see what's going on. So the error did not clear overnight, and I connected the MI3 app. I noticed on the DC status it shows contact welded notification. The schematic shows that the limb module is probably one of the key issues with maybe causing an alarm state or fault state. And it does have two contactors that are connected for the DC inputs. If you look at this here, there's a byte that is set at 0272. That could be the problem if it's not a real physical welding issue of those contactors. So to make a long story short, I ended up taking the car in for a service check at the local BMW service center, and they did check out the vehicle and see if there's a problem, and they didn't find a physical problem with the contactors, and they ended up resetting and recharging with the DC charger. And basically they said the problem was most likely caused by the charging station itself, which would have been the Tesla charger. So hopefully you watch this and you'll save yourself a $250 service bill at the BMW service center by watching this video, and definitely charge on a Tesla Supercharger at your own risk, and it may be expensive. In conclusion here, the Tesla app worked pretty seamlessly. Pretty happy with that. The Supercharger cables are just too short, so it's not convenient with it being on the wrong side, or you'd have to take up multiple charging stalls, which are likely to cause drivers to be upset. Although I do need to add that most of the drivers I ran into at the station, the Tesla drivers, were very friendly and helpful, so that was not a problem. Magic Dock worked well, no issues with startup with the devices. The ending of the session seemed to be a problem where it created the faults and ended up with the drivetrain error that I could not clear. And then I did end up having to go to the BMW service center to check it out, and the clearing fault seemed to solve it. So I hope you enjoyed this rather expensive experiment to check out the Tesla Superchargers, and I would recommend staying away from it until you see information that says otherwise. Anyway, thanks for watching.